Hey there, good morning. All right, so at 3:23, um, I got a nudge from Spirit to talk about alcohol. And it was good. I liked the message, and I was going to wait to record it. And then at 3:33, I got up because Spirit was not going to let me sleep. So here we go, talking about alcohol. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. You already know your own truth. I'm here to help you remember the truth. And this is a judgment free zone. In higher consciousness thinking, there is no guilt, there is no judgment, there is no shame. There is what's right for you, and there's what's not right for you. And you learn to let go of what's not right for you. I'm sharing this message because, um, like many things, I was lied to and got tired of being lied to and knew I was being lied to, and I wanted to seek truth. And one of those things is about alcohol. So, another thing about 5D or higher consciousness is it's about being real, it's about being authentic, and it's about being present in your life. And why I chose to stop drinking alcohol is because alcohol makes you not truthful in a way. It takes away your ability to be present as well. Alcohol kind of, from my experience and what I've realized, is it inverts your feelings and your emotions. So if you're typically kind of angry and hostile in the inside, you're not very happy with life, you're struggling with life, and you're frustrated and mad about stuff, and things aren't going your way, and yada, yada, yada. You can drink to escape from that reality. And alcohol has this unique effect where it will invert your inside through coming out externally. So, what I mean by that is it twists the reality of how you really feel. So through some of the hermetic principles of as within, so without, alcohol plays with that principle, that law. If you're upset on the inside and not happy, and you're trying to pretend that you are, when you drink alcohol, you can be happy, and that's me. So in the past, um, when I was asleep and not initiated and not even on the path, I was the fool, but I wasn't the initiated fool. I was just the fool acting a fool. Um, I was miserable, depressed, upset, most of the time inside, and I would pretend like I was not. I would have a persona on the outside that everything was okay. And when I drank alcohol, then I was friendly. I genuinely felt okay. I would be happier. I would be friendly and loving, and more joking and all that kind of stuff. What's interesting now is that now that I'm on the other side of that, and I walk with Christ on a daily basis, Yeshua is in me, two as one. Um, I drink alcohol over the winter because there's not a lot going on, right? It's winter. Uh, it's dark outside. It's cold. People stay inside. There's not a lot going on. You're not going out as much. And what I noticed is when I drank, because I was so peaceful and tranquil inside, when I drank personally, I would become angry and hostile. And I did not like that. I didn't like that at all. The other thing about it is you realize, again, back to being real, authentic, and present, like I don't need, sorry, anything that distorts my reality or anything that distorts my true I am. And alcohol was distorting that. And so for me, it was a very easy conclusion just to stop drinking altogether because I realized it was playing tricks on me, and it was inverting and twisting my conscious state and my reality. It's really interesting to me that if you are chaotic on the inside and you drink alcohol, you might become peaceful and tranquil on the outside. Well, what if you met somebody while you're drinking and you're hanging out with other people that are drinking and everybody's happy and friendly? Well, what that tells me, and you can come to your own conclusions, is that you're with a bunch of people that really aren't that happy, and you're drinking alcohol to escape your life that you're unhappy about. And so you're getting along and having fun while you're inebriated together. But then the alcohol wears off, the real world comes back, you're not escaping reality anymore, and now you're back to your actual conscious state, which is not that great. You don't like your life, remember. That's the whole point of how I started this off. Well, how can you really make real relationships or friendships or really get to know somebody in dating if every time you act or interact with them, you're under the influence of alcohol and you have inverted the true you. And then how do you get to know each other? This really explains why relationships can fall apart when you're sober. You get along and everything's great when you're inebriated or drunk or whatever, but then you're not and you're sober, and now you don't like yourself and they don't like themselves, and now y'all are trying to get along and you don't have a connection because you're both miserable, but you're pretending like you're not. Again, say whatever resonates with you, keep it. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. This is how it felt to me, and this was the truth to me. This is not what I was taught about alcohol when I was a child. You just get told you don't drink, and then you're 21, now you can drink all of a sudden, and you're supposed to drink, and people encourage it, and alcohol is everywhere. It just never made any sense to me. And then, you think critically, and you really take presence and ownership for your life. And for the reasons that I explained, alcohol just isn't for me. And I was an avid bourbon collector. I have thousands and thousands of dollars of rare bourbons. I really appreciated bourbon. I have over 20 books on whiskey and bourbon and how it's intertwined with the history of America. And so I fell in love with the culture of it. And so if you're a taster or sampler, that's fine. I'm not talking about people just enjoying it for actually how it's meant to be enjoyed. I'm talking more about using alcohol to escape reality. Escapism is not good. It is not a substitute for life. Whether you agree with that or not, it's not a substitute for life. Alcohol is not here to get you through life. It's if you're abusing alcohol, you're not living your life. You're drinking alcohol and escaping life. But I hope that helps. For anyone else that's still here, then there's even more to it. So the ancient alchemists, they wanted to distill the essence out of everything. That was part of what their mission was. They would take whatever element or whatever object or whatever solution is, alcohol, doesn't matter, and they would distill it into its essence. That was the point that they were trying to do. And the reason why alcohol is called a spirit is because they literally believed that it could, in the right circumstances, allow for possession by a spirit. Gin from juniper is named after a djinn, a genie, a spirit in a bottle. So are you now the genie in the bottle when you drink alcohol, or is the genie in the bottle now in you because you allow yourself to be possessed? And there's a whole story and breakdown of how every spirit, what its essence is, and there was a precise method to what they were doing. They knew what they were doing, and they would use it as a potion in specific ways and specific rituals. That never heard anything. I never heard any of that. That's not anything I was ever taught. And then taking it to the religious context of now, which again, I'm spiritual. I walk with Yeshua, my creator, my Lord, but I'm not religious. I don't believe in the indoctrination of spirituality into a channeled specific way that you're supposed to live. And there's an intermediary between you and God. Salvation lies within, God is within you. So why religion tries to attack alcohol is because of these reasons, but I never heard that. I used to attend Baptist church. I used to attend Presbyterian church, different kinds of denominations. I've been to Methodist churches, and they tell you that alcohol is the devil and you don't drink, but they don't tell you why. They don't educate. At least I was never educated by anybody on why. They just tell you not to do it. Well, that doesn't work for humans. You can't just tell somebody not to do something. You need to rationalize with them why they should or shouldn't do the thing that you're telling them not to do, or the thing that you're telling them to do, right? But I think the real reason why they don't want people drinking is because of the chaos that you're going to bring to the outside, because they know that most people are miserable. And they know that most people are going to get, irate when they drink, because, it could invert and amplify. But the interesting thing about this to me that I got thinking is, okay, so if your clergy and your staff, who are seemingly put together and peaceful, right, your pastor, if he's really not as happy as he thinks he is, or if half of the staff, the clergy, don't really truly believe, and they're going through the motions of faking it just like everybody else, well, what's going to happen when they drink, they're gonna change. They're gonna change their personality. And what if they're actually truly peaceful? Well, if they're truly peaceful on the inside and they drink, then they're gonna become chaotic. They're gonna send the wrong message. They might even scare people. I know I personally wouldn't want any of my pastors to become chaotic and angry and hostile, and so those are the reasons why, to me, they don't want you drinking alcohol, or they might not encourage alcohol. And again, I'm not here to convince anything. I'm not selling anything. I'm just sharing things that resonated truth to me, and empowered me to be me and find out who I really am. And if you don't know the truth in any area or lots of areas, then it's hard to figure out who you are and what the right decision is. So I hope that helps. If it doesn't help, I'm sorry. If you have any more questions about it, let me know. I'm not trying to dig into this deeply and get into the whole, like, uh, you know, every little detail. The main thing is be authentic, be real, speak your truth, and live your truth. And it's really hard to do that if you're trying to escape reality through any substance like alcohol or anything else. Um, be well, walk your path. Amen. Peace. Bye.